In this video, let me show you how we can set up color palettes. First, when we go onto a tool, we always see a particular color, and here we have the color wheel. By the way, for those who might not be familiar with it, there it says Copic above the star. And this means that actually these colors relate to the actual colors of the Copic marker brand. Copic is a very popular brand for markers. I prefer them myself more than, for example, Prismacolor. And the advantage here is if you work digitally and physically, here we have all the colors we can work with. On top of this toolbar, you see there's actually a color palette, and it changes based on what color or tool I'm selecting right now. And here I can very quickly switch to various tones, and you see if I kind of like go to the left, it goes darker, go to the right, it goes brighter. So there is something happening. The software actually moves the tones along a particular color system. Further, what I can do with the color palette, if I hold the finger on it, you see then it becomes a gradient, and I can, via sliding, select a particular shade. There, kind of cool. Okay, so with that actually set, now I could go ahead and draw something. And maybe I want to go to this brighter color there, and there you see how I'm drawing something different. Now, particularly in illustration or interior design, we want to set up actually predefined colors we quickly can jump between, because we want to theme stuff, for example, for writing, annotations, and materials, etc. We want to have particular colors. We don't want to have to remix them all the time. So let me show you now how we can actually create palettes. When I tap onto a tool, here you see I'm going into the edit for the tool, and there's colors. Go to colors. So what do we see here? First, actually at the bottom, dynamic palettes, you see shades. That's actually what was going on in the palette there. So when I go to there, it gives me different shades. We also have, I can't say this word, okay. There you see. Oh, based on what color I select, it gives me a matching color. It's actually really nice. Or we could go to monochromatic, complementary. So this is basically everything about color theory. When you select one color, the software can tell you other color choices which will be suitable. On top you see my palettes. So there we have, for example, calm. Turn this on. Let's go back to Copics. Oh, we don't see it. It is actually there. With a finger, we can slide the palette. So you see we are switching between palettes. And now I just, as you see, switch between just specific shades. The colors are not changing anymore because, well, this is just a color palette. But then here I still have, as you can see when I go back, it gives me everything for analog colors. Analogous? I seriously can't pronounce it. Let's go to monochromatic or complementary there. So when I select this, what's then the complementary? Yeah, good. Okay. Now, how do we do actually our own color palettes? We can click add, and then on top you see current color. Then there it says Copic, and then RGB, hex, and HSB. So RGB stands for red, green, and blue, and HSB here saturation. What's actually B? I know this actually HSV here saturation and value brightness maybe. Oh yeah, that might mean brightness. Okay, very good. So to adjust these values, we can, let's say we want to make a pure red. So that's 255. That's, I think, the max, and then 0 for green and 0 for blue. So there's now a perfect red. Then this color with a finger I can drag onto this my palette to the right edge of the palette, and then it got added. Let's say we would like to have a very strong green. You see how when I type in something above 255, it simplifies it down to 255. Very good. Now this I can drag also there. One more time. Whoops. Let's go back. And there, now it added the color. 0, 2, 5, 5. There we have a nice blue. Or these are, I don't want to say nice blue, these are RGB colors. When we mix green and blue together, we get cyan. So a little bit of color management. When we have all RGB together, then we get white. Red and green generates yellow. There. Cool, no? So let's actually switch our color here. Let's go back one time. Complementary. Oh, the reason why I didn't see the color was because my palette was not activated. So now I activate the palette. And there it is. I can show multiple palettes, maybe high value. Let me see how I can switch between palettes. So very nice. Let's see from here, when I select this color, can I drag this one onto there? Chunk. Yeah, we can even add a color, for example, there. So the system is quite flexible in how and where we can add colors. And when I go into the tool one more time, so where I can now see the palette, there we are. If I want to delete a palette or rename it, I just with a finger press and hold, and then click delete. And that pretty much is how then we can set up all our palettes in Concept. So when we do technical drawings or like space illustrations, we have colors which are across various documents always the same. And this is a huge help to standardize things.